Hey everyone, Jen here, and this is our second video in the Square to Square Quilt Block playlist. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I piece together the top of my table runner. So I'm using the Square to Square Quilt Block in the hoop, and we're going to use the 9-inch center square for the centers, and then the 3-inch squares for basically like our sashing. So I have 3 9-inch squares and I have 12 3-inch squares, and I hooped up 6 at a time of the 3-inch squares in an 8x12 hoop. So we did 2 hoopings of those, and then 3 hoopings for one each of the larger blocks. And each the larger block takes about 4 minutes stitch time. So these go together very quickly. So you want to go ahead and decide math wise what size blocks you're going to use. If you only have an 8x8 hoop or 8x12 hoop, that's still a very good size, and you can add some bordering to make your runner a little wider. The same thing if you have only a 5-inch hoop, you could put 4 5-inch blocks together to make one 10-inch block, and that is also a very good size for a runner, and then piece everything together. So you obviously have to have a little sewing knowledge, but this is all straight sewing. Even the quilting and stuff, when we get to that part, is very, very doable if you are a novice sewer and you don't have any quilting experience. So I am a self-taught quilter. I still can't believe I even say that I'm a quilter, but I have made quilts. I'm doing quilting, so I guess technically I'm also a quilter. So get all of your pieces together, and then I'm going to talk about how I lay out my pieces. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to lay out our pieces. So for me, I like to use the odds method, which is a design method, so things look better in odd numbers. So I have 3 of the large blocks, and then I'm going to break up the 3 large blocks with the smaller blocks. You could also just do strips of fabric. If you didn't want to do that, you could also just join all the large blocks. So how I'm going to lay mine out is I have two pink blocks here, what I call pink, the outer fabrics, and then 1 yellow. So the yellow is going to go in the center, the pink's on the outside. I also used my more blue-based center fabrics on the outside. And then the little squares are a mixture of these 3 patterns and the 2 blenders and some white. So this is very busy. So if you want to use a busy fabric, that's great, but just break it up maybe with some white, or you could do, if you have a smaller hoop, you could do white borders in between all of your blocks. I am a busy person, so I really like this. I just made sure that when I laid out the blocks, so I have six yellow and white and 6 pink and white. So what I did was I did the 2 center stripes are going to be pink, yellow, pink, and then the large blocks, and then on the outer strips it's going to go yellow, pink, yellow. So when you lay it all out, just make sure you either keep it laid out or have some sort of system to keep your small blocks in order, so that way you're not like having to seam rip once you put them together. So I have my piles. I go 1, 2, 3 and put those in a pile, then 1, 2, 3. And that way I know that my small blocks, which is what I'm going to start with, are in order. So top to bottom. So the best way to piece these is with a 1/4-inch seam foot, and I prefer the 1/4-inch seam foot with guide. So if you're new to sewing and you're worried about keeping a straight edge or a straight seam allowance, the 1/4-inch foot with guide is going to be your best friend, and I love that foot. I can sew, I am a good sewer, but I still appreciate the help of that foot, and it just makes life a lot easier. So we're going to start with connecting our first blocks. Okay, in the main block video, I talk about leaving the stabilizer in your block. And so all of your blocks should have the stabilizer in there, and that's going to help keep your fabric straight and from stretching. So again, if you're not a seasoned sewer and you need a little extra help, this is going to be like magic for you. And I leave it in. I much prefer paper piecing over regular quilt block building. So we know this is quilt block top, middle, bottom, because that's how I have laid it out. So you're going to take your top block and flip it over, and you're going to take your pin. And what I do is I put my pin in the corner of the stitching right there, the corner. And then I take my pin and I push that through the corner of the second block. So you know that they are lined up. So even if your seam allowance was not trimmed correctly, as long as that pin is standing straight up, those are perfectly aligned. So the only place I'm actually going to put a pin is in the center. So as long as this is lined up, these two center points should be lined up. So I'm going to take a pin. Actually, I think I'm going to go horizontal here, and I'm going to pin those center pieces together. And then when I get to sewing, I'll make sure that those lines are lined up here. It's very difficult to sew with that pin there, but if you line them up to begin with, you should be good to go with your one pin. So you're going to sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance across the top or the bottom, depending on what you're doing, your block. What I like to do is use the thread as my guide, and I sew just inside of that thread so that it is caught in the seam allowance and does not show on your finished project. Now, if you flip it over and there's just a little bit, you can always just seam rip and pick it out. But also when you quilt, a lot of that goes away and gets lost in the quilting. So you can't really tell if there's a little bit here and there. So don't get too stressed out about that. So once these two blocks are joined together, we'll come back and add the third block. I'm going to use a 2.5 inch seam allowance on regular 4.0 tension, and I do not backstitch at the front or the back. Okay, so our first two blocks are put together. You can see here, there is no stabilizer. I'm going to press at the end once we have it all together. So we'll talk about pressing. So next we're going to take, this is my bottom block here, and I want the sardines to be right side up. So make sure you pay attention. So I'm going to take this block and flip it over. So that way I know it is facing the correct way. And I'm going to follow the same method, putting my pin in the corner and aligning it with the other corner of the other block here. And then I'm going to make sure that both of my points here are lined up, and they are. Take one pin, horizontal across, take this pin out, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch along the seam. Okay, so we have all three blocks put together. Now, how I deal with my seam allowance is, I don't know. I do not press open my seams on certain blocks. And this is one of the blocks, because the seam is so thick, that I am going to press to the side. And where it is thick is where the points meet. Now there is like liquid starch and different things. There's a pen for paper piecing, and I do have that, but not everybody's going to have that. Not everybody wants to go to that level of dealing with quilt blocks. So just know that whatever works for you, if you want to press them open, great. If you want to press to the side, that is fine. You do want to press these before we attach these to the large blocks. However, for this specific tearaway, it will melt. So you need to make sure that you cover it with another piece of cotton before you press your seams open, which I'm going to put all these together and then press everything at the end. So next up, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put all of my small blocks together. Then we'll come back and we will start piecing the larger pieces together. Okay, so I have all 4 strips of my 3-inch blocks put together, and I did go ahead and press the the seams to the outside. So here are my blocks. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and attach my small blocks to my large blocks. So I'm going to move the yellow, which are going to be on the outside, and we're going to put our center block is going to be the yellow with these two with the pinks on top attached to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these two to these, and then I'm going to do the other strips to the pink blocks, and then I will attach each of those individually. So I'm going to use the same method that I used on the small blocks with the larger block. So you're going to take your block and turn it right side down, and you can see now my block is just a little bit off on the seam allowance, and that is okay. This is where you can remove a little bit of the stabilizer, and I would only do it in small little sections to go ahead, and you will get a little bit of stretch from your fabric so that you can have a little bit easier time lining up your pieces. So I'm going to remove these two pieces of stabilizer, and if I need to remove a little bit more, I will. And if you need to remove all of it, that's okay. It's just there to help keep things lined up. So that gave me a little bit of give. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the other two top pieces here. And it is okay to ease in just a little bit. It's not going to pull too much on your block. I do this quite a bit because I am not great with sewing straight lines sometimes. So we're going to take our corner here and we're going to match it up to the corner of the yellow block, just like we did with the others. And then I'm going to take the other side and do the same process, corner to corner. Corner here, corner here. So make sure your pins are standing up straight, not turning diagonal. So you can see now that we took out just that little bit, it gives us just enough wiggle room to pull the block out. And once you pull out the rest, it will all come together. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the center diagonal of the middle small block to the center of the big block. So I'm going to line those up. I'm going to go over to the side just slightly because it is bulky right there. So I'm going to line those up, and then I'm going to go ahead and line up. I'm going to pull just slightly and pin the other two blocks into place where they sit. Here and here, and then I'm going to remove these side pins. Now I do like to add right here at the top, I line up the top corner here, and I do like to add, just to help me keep things straight, a pin here just to hold it together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch from end to end, and I'm going to gently pull on this just as I go to make sure that it gets lined up at both ends. Okay, so one side is attached, and once it is pulled flat, you can see it's going to be just fine once you pull out the stabilizer. You can also see, just a little bit of stitching that I did not catch, and I'm going to go ahead and leave that, and I'm just going to pop it out with my seam ripper, or I might just leave it all together because, again, with the quilting, you may not even see it. So we're going to repeat the process with the other side here. So we're going to line this up, and we're going to sew right sides together. All right, so here is our center block. Again, I'm just going to leave it until we're all ready to iron all of this together. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to work on the two pink blocks, which are going to be put together the same way. So the strips are on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and go right sides together and attach them along the outer edges of the pink quilt blocks. Okay, so my outer two blocks are done. And so now we are going to go ahead and attach these two blocks to the center block. And because I already pressed these outer smaller blocks, I actually don't need to press these right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all this, and then once I attach them, I'll remove all the stabilizer, then I'll give it a really good press. So I'm not really worried about that. So here's the outer block and the larger block. So we're going to right sides together, attach the larger block to the strip, and then the larger block to the other side of your main block, and then our top will be complete. Okay, so here is our finished top. It's a little hard to get all in the screen. So the next stop in the process is going to go ahead and remove all of the stabilizer. And you want to be gentle when you do that. Thankfully, these pieces are large, so it's not going to be difficult to get these out. And this Tear Easy comes out so clean that and easy, if you see right here, just removing the center block, that this is not going to be a super tedious job, and you really don't need to be yanking really hard on the stitching. So just be mindful of the stitching. And then once I remove all of the stabilizer, I'm going to go ahead and give it a really good press. And then in our next video, I'm going to talk about how I mark it for quilting, creating a quilt sandwich, and then how I'm going to do the back of our table runner. So hopefully you enjoyed, and stick on by for the next video. Thanks.